All right, lads, welcome back to the Always Unfiltered podcast. Today we are diving straight back in to the one and only Katie Price. So, this is season one, episode one of the very first series that she did with Peter Andre. This is called When Jordan Met Peter. I did not even know that this existed. So, I was talking about the second series, which is called Jordan and Peter Laid Bare. So, I've come across this one, and this is what we're talking about. Now, the narrator of this show is Terry Wogan. My mind again was blown, and I know you don't need to tell me. I do know I need to get out more. Anyway, for a bit of context, these two met on a show called I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here. Now, when they were going into that show, it was actually Katie Price that was a huge celebrity. Peter Andre was kind of a bit of a one-hit wonder. I believe he got onto that show because somebody else had dropped out. So here we are. Anyway, these two are engaged. Now they are not mentioning the fact that when Katie Price went into I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here, she was in fact engaged to another fella called Scott Sullivan. They're obviously not mentioning that in the show, so I do feel the need to let you all know that. Also, already Harvey, who was only one, has already had three fathers. This is going to be daddy number four. Now, I do want to let you all know something. In the very first documentary filmed just prior to this, we did meet Katie Price's dog. He was a little puppy called Smurf. We have not seen him again. Now we are going to circle back to present day on what's going on with Katie Price and animals and all the things that people are very, very angry about. Anyway, this opens up in Katie's mansion of a house in Sussex. This girl was making bank back in the day. This place is huge and also it is gorgeous. So Katie Price is living there with Peter Andre and his brother, a fella called Mike. So this opens up. These two are in bed, right? And Katie says to Peter, "Oh, I didn't realize like you'd be getting up so early." And he says to her, "Oh, I'm up all right." So that's the kind of innuendo that we hear a lot of throughout this whole episode. Anyway, as I said, these are engaged, but nobody knows, right? They had to keep everything quiet. So now they are going to do a photo shoot for this engagement. So the photo shoot is these two on a bed, kind of pillow fighting. Now, Katie Price, my God, she was stunning back in the day. The body, the face, everything. Feckin' hell, she really was beautiful. Anyway, she has a tiny little pair of pink shorts on her, a little white top. She's fabulous looking. So these two are having like a pillow fight. Claire is telling him to stop because Peter is actually hitting her very hard, right? So Claire is saying to stop. Then they get all sexual. They don't care, like there's a camera around them. Anyway, Claire Powell and Katie Price have a very, what I consider to be, interesting conversation. So Katie Price is saying to Claire, "Claire, why wouldn't you tell Peter I was interested in him? Why wouldn't you let me talk to him?" Now, Claire is always with these people, okay? No matter what they're doing in this episode, she's always there. Anyway, she's answering Katie's question, right? And she says, "Well, Katie, I was trying to protect you from the press." And Katie Price says, "No, that's not what I was talking about. Why didn't you tell Peter that I wanted to talk to him? Because you knew I wanted to, Claire, and I was crying. I wanted to talk to him so badly you wouldn't let me." And Claire just continues on her line, right? And she's just saying, "I was trying to protect you, but you're isn't a grand now because you're in love." Now, I have a theory about this, okay? Because in the original documentary, we see Katie Price with her own management. That was a fella called Dave Reid. He's gone. He's gone, by the way. We do not see him. Now, because Claire Powell was always Peter Andre's agent, I believe in her. This is just my opinion, by the way, right? I think that she was trying to kickstart Peter Andre's career and kind of toward teeny boppers, toward a younger audience. And she knew Katie Price, not the best look for something like that, not for the younger audience. Now, as I was watching this, okay, I do think that Peter Andre fancied Katie, but I do not believe he was in love with her. That's just my opinion. Now, I might change that over time, but as of here, I think that him and Claire Powell were kind of thinking, how is this going to go? Will it look good for the career? I think they were having all of those conversations before she would even let him talk to Katie Price because she already knew that Katie Price was mad about this guy. Anyway, that's just my opinion. So these two are finished with the photo shoot. So then they go to a kid's toy shop, and Katie Price picks up this Barbie. It's like a horse and cart, and she's saying to Claire Powell, "This is what I want for the wedding, Claire. I want either 4 or 6 horses. I want them to be white. I want to paint the hooves white." But Peter Andre is going along with all of this, right? And he's saying, "Oh yeah, and I'm gonna wear this for the nighttime look. I'm going to be wearing this for the daytime look." This is so tacky, but I love every single moment of it. Now at this stage, Katie is still modeling, okay? Very explicit pictures, but Peter Andre did know like what her job was before they ever got together. So Peter Andre is gonna propose to her, but he has already proposed, like they're already engaged. They just had to keep it quiet for the photo shoot. So now what they're gonna do is they're gonna propose in front of the family, but it's only her family. So he tells us that his family, they don't know Katie Price. Like they do know of her. I thought, Jesus, that's not good. Like they've never even met this girl before. Anyway, for the engagement, Peter is going to cook an engagement meal. Now we see him going out, we see him getting all the shopping. He's looking for a particular cut of meat, right? And he says that he is going to call this meal Steak Jardania because this guy is a gobshite. Anyway, these are after having an argument, so he is now just going to call it Steak J. Now, at this stage in their relationship, they're basically only together. These are already fighting over her drinking, but we see him waking up his brother. He wants to get his brother to give him a hand, like cooking this food. But the brother, Mike, he's also feckin' dying from a hangover. Feckin' hell. Anyway, these two have made up. They're making up and breaking up throughout this whole episode, right? So steak Jordania is back on the menu. Oh, anyway, as I said, they are engaged, but it's not official yet, like to the family and all that. So the food is ready and the family is gonna arrive, but they are 2 hours late. But they do finally arrive. Now, as all of this is going on, Katie Price is just out having a bit of retail therapy while he's cooking the food, right? And her family are 2 hours late. So as they arrive, we find out they're missing a few people because brother Danny and her grandmother, like they just don't arrive. But I thought they're not telling us that though about Peter's family, because there's nobody from his family there either. Now I did see something and I thought, oh God, I would kill for this. Katie Price has the most stunning agate. Oh my gosh, this thing is gorgeous. And I can tell it's never been cooked on. I can tell she's never used this. Feckin' hell, I'd love it. Anyway, the family are there and they're eating steak Jardania. This looks like slop on a plate to me. So Peter Andre is telling us about Katie's sister. So he's talking to her and he's saying, "Oh, Sophie was very concerned that I was gonna hurt her sister. So I had to promise Sophie, I am never gonna hurt Katie." I thought, jeepers, I'm not sure about that. Anyway, we find out that these have been together for 9 months. Now, before he proposed, right, before he got the ring, he did ask our parents, like, he wanted to make sure that he got the right ring. I thought, good, at least that is good. So he does get the ring, and the parents thought it was nice. So he's doing the proposal, but we find out he has actually proposed 3 times already. But that was basically just for the photo shoot. Everything in their lives is just a photo shoot. Like their life really is just a reality TV show. So this is basically just for the family. Anyway, he's trying to propose, right? He's getting down on one knee, then he's getting down on the wrong knee. And Katie Price is saying, "No, turn to the light," because she wants to get a good picture. Now, throughout this whole episode, these two are kissing the face off each other. That's when they're not killing each other, by the way. Now, when I say they're kissing the face off each other, I mean literally and incredibly explicitly. Doing all the things in front of the camera crew, in front of Claire Powell, and in front of their family. These two don't give a shit. Like they really don't. Anyway, he proposes and she accepts. But even the family, like they're just breaking their heart laughing. Nobody is taking this seriously because you have to bear in mind he has done it 3 times already. Anyway, they get engaged, okay? And then his brother Mike opens up a bottle of champagne. I thought, Jesus, Mike, you sure about that? Feckin' hell, Peter Andre will be given out to you next. So they're after getting engaged, okay? And Katie says to him, right, when is the date? And Peter says, what you mean? This is just an engagement. And she's like, no, this girl wants a date for the wedding and she wants it now. So this is exactly what I mean when I say I am unsure of Peter Andre's intentions. Like, I know he fancies her, but I'm thinking, is he just with this girl for a bit of fame? Like, does he really want to kickstart his career? He knows she's incredibly famous. She, at the time, right? She was the most successful page three model in the UK, and like there was loads of them. So I mean, being attached to her is gonna get you a heck of a lot of headlines, you know? Anyway, just to circle back on Katie Price and the animal situation of it all. As you know, we've never heard from Smurf again. Like Dave Reid, the manager, he's just gone. We just never see or hear it is. So, in more recent times, we see on the newest documentary, Katie Price had to give her son one of her cats. Now, the reason she had to give this, they're Sphinx cats, right? The reason she had to give the son the cat is because she basically has too many and she couldn't look after it. Now, in and around the same time, she had another cat, okay, that went missing. She did let everybody know that the cat came back. So recently she has posted that her cat has had kittens. Now, I believe the cat had about 7 or 8 kittens. Now, we don't know anything. Like, how did this cat become pregnant? Was it when she just got out? Like, why did this happen? Why are you not neutering all of these animals, Katie Price? We don't get any answers to that. We do just find out that this cat had loads of kittens and Katie Price is posting them. Is she doing it for age bait to drive people mad? Well, highly likely, but also she's very irresponsible. So the fact that this cat has had a load of kittens does not surprise me. Also, this cat only last year was one of the kittens that Katie Price got. So I hope she's not going to just keep on breeding these cats, you know? But honestly, I wouldn't be surprised. And people are having all the thoughts about it. And, I understand. Because when it comes to Katie Price looking after animals, she's not exactly good at it. She's a terrible pet owner. Anyway, I thought I would just do a quick video to catch everybody up and let them know how these people came to be, because I'm pretty sure not everybody has heard of like Peter and Katie and all of the madness that surrounds them. So that's how basically they got together and now they are engaged. You can let me know. Do you want to continue on with this series, or will we just dive straight into the wedding? Also, people have been asking me, do I have a Patreon? No, I don't. I do have channel memberships, I have a shop, and I have a buy me a coffee, and I'm incredibly grateful for anybody who supports me. Now, I want to say a big thank you and a shout out to my channel members, or as I like to call them, my family root. We have Donna, Lindsay, Linda, the Chris, Joe Bear, Wendy, Kimberly, Vanessa, Jen, Scarlett, Ticey, Nadia, Helga, Danny and Tina. Now, I am aware that I called Tina tiny in my last video. I'm sorry about that. I know it's Tina rhymes with China. Anyway, lads, I hope you are all having a fantastic day today. Now, if nobody else tells you this, remember that I love you a long time. Slán.